Hello, good morning everybody, and happy Sunday. Today is Sunday here, so we're gonna make a Sunday roast for dinner that I'm gonna get in the crock pot because I have to finish up my canning today. So as far as canning goes, you guys, we are gonna make an apple pie filling that will have sugar. I will use the raw cane sugar or the pure cane sugar, but it does have sugar. I'm making 7 of them. That will last us a year, plus giving some away because we don't eat apple pie that often. But it's something that in the fall and in the winter, it's nice to have that ready to go. So I'm going to make 7 quarts of that, and then we're gonna turn the rest into applesauce that is sweetened with honey and cinnamon. And I did end up getting 9 jars, or I'm sorry, I got 11 jars of unsweetened applesauce done yesterday. So we're gonna start though the full day of meals. So let's jump into breakfast today. Today we are gonna make a ham and cheese Dutch baby for breakfast, and hopefully that turns out good. We're gonna use the wheat flour, so I'll let you know how that turns out. Let's get that started. Okay, I'm gonna start with about 1/4 cup of butter in this pan, and I'm gonna put it in the oven to melt while the oven's heating up. I have it set at 425 degrees. 1 cup of milk. 1 cup of flour. I have 4 eggs. I'm gonna put them in this just to make sure I don't have any eggshells. You can see I got one. With fresh eggs, sometimes the shells are they just fall in. They're a little bit more fragile. And sometimes they're way harder. It just kind of depends if the chicken is eating enough of the eggshells or oyster shell that's out there or not. Each chicken eats what they want. So I'm going to add these eggs. And I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to stir this together. Now I had 2 packets of ham that I had froze from long ago. That was what was left in my freezer. So I just got some of that out and defrosted it. And I shredded some mozzarella. And then we're gonna top it with just a few herbs. So it's all mixed up. Okay, so here I'm gonna pour this batter over top of all this butter. This is gonna bake at 425 for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna quickly sprinkle on some ham. Some of this I just gotta tear up. And then I'm gonna add, you could dice it up real nice if you wanted. I'm gonna add the cheese, and we're gonna put this in the oven. Add the mozzarella. I'm gonna top it with some parsley. I'm almost out of dried parsley. I'll make sure I grow plenty this year. And some garlic powder. Alright, this is going in the oven at 425 for 20 minutes. Alright, so while that's going, I'm going to go on and turn this front burner on high. I'm going to add some olive oil to this. And now I'm going to brown a chuck roast in here because we're going to make a Sunday pot roast. brown the other side. Okay, so now I'm just gonna dump that in my crock pot. To my crock pot, I'm gonna add about 2 cups of red wine. Okay, I added some red wine. I thought I had 2 cups and I did not, which is fine. So I added just some red wine. I'm gonna add some soy sauce. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water. I'm gonna add some garlic. I've got some beets from last year's garden I'm gonna throw in here. Okay, I have some sweet potato. But I'm dropping everywhere. I also have a few yellow potatoes. I'm going to add an onion. I'm going to add some salt. Some thyme from our garden from last year, which I am almost out. I'm going to add some rosemary. I'm going to add some pepper, and I'm going to add a few bay leaves. Just a little more water, just kind of make sure I get enough in there. And I'm going to cover this and cook this on low all day. It is 10:51, so we'll eat probably around 9 o'clock. Real quick, I forgot the carrots, so I'm going to add some carrots in there real quick as well. I forgot about the carrots. Okay, so here is the Dutch baby ready. It definitely did not poof up as much with the wheat flour. Again, I think it's just because it's so much more dense. But it looks amazing. I'll let you guys know after it cools a bit how it tastes. Okay, so here it is. This is what it looks like. We'll see what Charles thinks of it. So while I'm waiting on him, I just tried it and I thought I'd give my opinion. I think it is fabulous. The only thing I would do different is I would add some onion to it, some green onion or some chopped like sauteed onion along with the ham. I think that would take it like perfect where it needed to be. But otherwise, it tastes really, really good. Okay, so last time we did a Dutch baby, we did like a sweet version. This is a savory version.
Okay. I see ham. Well, it looks to be ham.
Yes, I think you love it. I love it. I think it's very, very good.
I do love it.
It's very, very good.
That is very, very good.
Definitely a make again. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I would do different is I would add a little bit of onion. I think that would take it to like just perfect. A hint of onion.
It's like a breakfast pizza.
Yeah, it is. It's very much like a breakfast pizza. Mm-hmm. Very good. Definitely you guys try this recipe. And you cannot notice any difference using whole wheat flour versus white flour, like I said, other than it didn't puff up really huge. But taste is just wonderful. Alright, next I need to make some bread because Charles is going to go into the office Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I need to have bread made for sandwiches. And I'm sure somebody's going to want bread tonight with dinner as well. So I'm going to make some bread. And then I also am going to make a healthier chocolate pudding for dessert. So we're going to go on and make that. And then I got to do some of the canning. So I'm at least going to do the apple pie filling today. If I can't get to all of it, that's okay. So something happened to me almost a week ago. We were moving our pigs and getting them out to pasture. Well, when we did, Boris is a big pig and it's pretty far away to move from our barn out into the fields So we put him in a dog crate. We lured him in with some treats and closed it, and we have a great big dog crate, but he is very heavy, and we had to lift and put the dog crate onto a sled so that we could pull the sled with the mower over to where he is now very happily there. And in order to lift it, Charles and I had to lift it together. The bottom almost like broke out of the bottom of the dog cage. I mean, he is heavy. And when I did it, I somehow pulled a muscle here in like my rotator cuff. And I've been in a lot of pain. So if any of you have suggestions on that, I think I'm gonna end up having to go to the doctor. I'm doing a heating pad, I'm doing a massager. But yes, I think I'm gonna have to end up going to a doctor. As unfortunate as that is. But if any of you have ideas, let me know. Let's go on. I'm going to start the bread. And then I'm going to, like I said, we're going to start this dessert so I can put it in the fridge. And there is no secret crazy ingredient, but it is lower in sugar. So let's make that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is 2 cups of warm water. I'm going to go on and make the bread first and get that started. I'm gonna do about 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. I think I said teaspoons on the last video. I meant to say tablespoons. I'm gonna do a few tablespoons of honey. Now I'm just gonna let this get nice and foamy. In today's bread though, I'm gonna try, sorry you guys are falling, I'm gonna try and replace the butter with the oil. So we'll see how that turns out and I'll let you guys know. But for right now, I'm just gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes. Okay, this is nice and foamy and ready to go. So in here, I'm gonna do about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of melted butter, just because I want it nice and buttery. And then I'm going to add about 4.5 cups of whole wheat flour. You should usually start off with 4 cups, and if you need to add more, add more. I'm going to let this just knead for about, I don't know, about 5 minutes or so. Okay, so this is how it should look. I did add just a little bit more of the flour to it. But now this, I'm just going to cover, and it's still sticky because of the honey. It will be somewhat sticky, but you should still be able to get into it without it completely sticking to your hands. All right, I'm going to cover this, and we're going to let this rise for about an hour. Alright, so real quick, in case you missed this tip, sorry, trying to get you guys where my thing is starting. I am going to put this in my oven with just the light on after I cover it, because that helps it rise really nice. Today we have storms moving in, so we are going from our high of 70 at noon, and it's now 12:30. Temperatures are dropping, the storms are moving in, it's getting very windy, but I've got all my windows open because it also feels fabulous. So I want to put this in the oven to keep it safe from all the drafts. If you have a drafty house or your temperature is a little cooler, it's just going to take a lot longer to rise. One of the other things that you can do is you can put a heating pad under it. I've heard people say they set it on their dryer. I would think that some of the motion though from the dryer would make it fall. I don't know, I haven't tried that. But the best trick that I've learned, and my favorite of all that I recently learned, was to just put it in the oven with the light on. That light on gives just the right amount of heat, and it makes it rise beautifully. Okay, next we're going to start off with the healthier pudding. So I'm going to start off with 2 cups of milk, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to do about 1/3 cup of honey. And we want about a 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. We're just gonna stir that all together and get that mixed up. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It started pouring. And the wind is blowing like crazy. Hopefully Charles made it into the barn because this is just insane. Alright, back into making the pudding. I had to run and close all the windows. Okay, sorry. Now I had cats trying to run in, the dog trying to run in, everybody trying to get out of the rain. So anyway, I'm just stirring this up. I haven't even turned the heat on yet. I just closed it. Charles is calling. Did he make it to the barn? I know, is he in the barn? Alright, before I get it started, I've got a half a cup of milk here, and I'm going to do I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of cornstarch added to this half a cup of milk. We're going to get this all stirred together to add after this warms up. So now I'm going to stir this up. It's ready to go. Okay, and I am just going to whisk this together. I think the whisk will work better. Get this mixed in good. And we're going to let this heat up. As soon as this heats up, we're going to add this cornstarch milk mixture. And we are going to add just a few chocolate chips. Now our chocolate chips are Enjoy Life, which is just, it's unsweetened cocoa powder, cane sugar, and cocoa butter. That's the only 3 ingredients in these. And it doesn't take much, it just takes a few. So we're going to add that. I had to stir this cornstarch mixture again though. It's getting, I'm going to stir this one again. It's getting thick on the bottom. Okay, back to this. It's almost heated up. This is going to come together pretty quick. I'm going to go on now that that's getting warm and add my cornstarch mixture. Now this batch will also be divided between 5 people. So I mean, it's just a small little bowl of pudding. Luke will not touch chocolate of any form. We're going to let this just come to a boil, and then we're going to constantly stir it for 2 minutes. Then for 1 minute, we are going to put it on just a simmer, and then we're going to remove it from the heat. All right, we are starting to boil, so we're going to make sure we stir this continuously for about 2 minutes. Okay, I'm going to turn this down now to just a simmer for a minute. Okay, I'm going to remove that from the heat. And I'm just going to stir it a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of chocolate chips. Just like a handful. Now, again, that's optional. And it says that this will thicken up. We're going to just stir it until the chocolate chips are melted. Then we're going to let this cool so we can put it in the fridge. And it says it will thicken up even more as it cools. And this is looking amazing. Alright, so now I am going to start the apple pie filling. So in this, I'm going to put in 2.5 quarts, about 10 cups of water. I'm going to add 3.5 cups of sugar. That's 1, 2, 3.5. 1 cup of cornstarch. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. A ½ teaspoon of nutmeg. So then I'm going to stir this over a medium-high heat until it thickens up. And then we're going to just add some lemon juice to this. And while I'm waiting for this to heat up, I am going to get my apples ready. Now the downside to my canner, the new canner that I got that I showed you guys yesterday, is that I'm going to have to pressure cook because it won't fit quart-sized jars in it. So I have to pressure cook to do quart size, which is fine, not a big deal. But then I also can only fit 4 at a time of the wide mouth jars in the canner, so that's going to take me like double the time, because normally you could fit 7 in a regular canner. But you know, you just got to make do with what you can do. We're going to get an outside burner, I think, like a propane burner, so that I can do my big pots on it, so I can do big batches, because when I'm in full swing of canning season, this will not fly to just do 4 big jars at a time. That'll take me forever. So this is great though, and I absolutely love it, and I'll have multiples going, but for right now I'm going to definitely need to, or for later I'm going to need to get a propane burner to have outside. Alright, so this is starting to thicken up. I'm going to let it go just a little bit longer. And then we're going to add our lemon juice to this. Okay, so now I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice to this. And I have a bunch of apple slices. I'm just going to load up my jars with apple slices and then fill them with this filling here. I'm just going to fill these up with this pie filling. I'll do that with all of them. And then I have this little tool that I'm going to go and try and get all the air bubbles I can out. I'll need to add just a little bit more liquid to this one. Clean wet rag. I'm going to just wipe this off. Get the rims real good. This one I spilt some down and I need to get that too. But get the rims really good so that your canning jars or the lids don't have a problem sealing. And then once these are done, I'll have to do this again. What I do love about this canner is it gives you step-by-step instructions on everything. So right now it's telling me fill my jars. So I did. So now I'm going to pop them in here. Then I just put the lid back on, and it just tells me step by step what to do. Now I hit the next one and it's saying heat. So it's gonna heat up. You guys can see that. So now it's gonna heat up. Then I'll put my regulator on after it's done saying vent. Alright, so now the bread is ready to be punched down. And I'm gonna put it into 2 loaves. Okay, now I'm going to cover and put these back in the oven and let them rise until double. About a half hour to 45 minutes. Alright, so now my loaves are ready. They got very high. Hopefully they don't deflate. Looks like this one might start to deflate and not be so pretty. Sometimes that just happens. I'm just doing an egg wash. Okay, now I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just until they're done. So here is the bread. As you see, it did deflate a little bit, but that's all right. It'll still be perfect for sandwiches and to have with our dinner tonight. All right, guys, we are going to start dinner. I'm going to do the taste test, dinner and dessert with Charles. Sorry, no lunch today. I didn't film that. Everybody just kind of grabbed what they wanted because I've just been busy, or I went up on the heating pad for a bit and just that kind of stuff. So I didn't have a lunch to show because I didn't make one. But now we're gonna go do taste tests for dinner. Okay, so this is what dinner looks like. It's the roast, bread and butter, and the little pudding cup. But guys, I am disappointed in that, so I'm not gonna write that recipe down. The taste is really good. I think maybe I just didn't cook it long enough. Sorry, I wasn't showing the right thing. But it's still pretty runny. So, not sure about that. And if you can see, I just got some of these out. So here is the apple pie filling cooling off. And that's what I got accomplished today. All right, honey, you're up. So he's gonna try the runny pudding first, and I just topped it with some whipped cream.
Yeah, the taste is good. I mean, you're pretty spot on with your...
It's good. It's just I don't know why it didn't set up. Maybe I should try and put that as like a pudding pop. Try and put it in my popsicle molds.
I would say that frozen would make very much so like
would be a good pudding pop.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. That's the game plan, guys. I'm gonna try that and see how that turns out. We'll try that tomorrow.
You just use what you already made, right?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, that definitely would taste like a pudding pop to me.
We'll try it. Well, all you got was roast.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get some of the veggies. He's also just ready to eat. Mm-hmm. And it's hot.
Mm-hmm. I took way too big of a bite. But man, is it good.
Good, because like, you're not even a roast person.
It's like just totally...
Yeah, it's falling apart. And we're eating a little bit earlier because you got kind of rained out today. And you've been in the house, so...
Honestly, I was out in the barn working on your raised beds because I knew it was going to rain.
We're adding a couple more raised beds.
Yeah.
That's what he's working on.
Yes. Putting in some new raised beds, all with free lumber that came from my neighbor's old fence.
Yeah.
But literally, I could feel the temperature drop in the barn after the rain moved through. I went from sweating to freezing and had to go put my sweatshirt back on. Literally.
I know. Then he came in the house and just started closing my windows. I said, get out, back out of here. Close my windows. I put on a sweatshirt. So I'd open them and he'd go behind me and close them. All right, so how was dinner?
Very hot, but very good. But I like cooked carrots and I like the potatoes like this. And if there's any of this roast left, that will make really good barbecue to go on a sandwich. And I know you don't normally barbecue beef roast, but I'm just telling you, that would be really good with some barbecue on it inside of a wrap too. Just saying. That's day 2 for it though.
If there's any left.
If there's any left.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up because we're ready to go eat. And we'll try one of these pudding pops tomorrow. I'm gonna try it, see how that turns out since it didn't sit up good in the fridge. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.